Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Saray at Saray Plans, and we are finally filming another budget with me video. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and get started with the April budget, but I wanted to just walk through a quick recap and some of the wins for the month of March, which I did not have a budget with me video for that particular month, but it was a great month budget-wise. So just a few of the highlights, and I do not share any specific numbers, just to keep it a little private there. But I will share some percentages, and I think that's really what's important. So I saved about 24% of the income, which does not include my 401k contribution. So that was a huge win. Another win for this particular month was that I tracked all of the transactions, and actually this is the third month in a row where I'm tracking all of the transactions, and that has been a huge deal. And then the other piece is also in tracking the transactions, I also was able to track the no spend, and we actually had 18 days of no spend for the month of March. So that was really good. And the other win here includes having the lowest month as it relates to the cost of food. That includes both food for groceries and eating out. So pretty great month so far, and I'm hoping I can carry that momentum into April. So for this month, I'm going to be using this kit. This is the A5 budget book kit for the month of April from my shop, and it is called Spring Butterflies, and it's kind of matches up with my theme for my ECLP. Oh, I can't even speak. It's a little bit late today, and I can't even speak, but we're going to get through this as best as we can. So that's what I'm going to be using for the decorative aspects of it. So I'll go ahead and start with the page at a glance, where I indicate some of the things that we have going on for this month, including the goals up at the top.
That things aren't going my way, cause that would be boring. Spend my last cent on cheese and champagne. What a wonderful morning. Never mind, she declined to the first date. It was only on my birthday. Never mind all the lines on the highway. Give me time to reflect a bit, cause I'm just having a good day. Having a good day. Having a
So for this month, I'm going to use this page a little bit differently. I did not actually use it for the month of March, so I'm going to repurpose this page. Typically, what I would do is I would keep track of all of the bills that were due this month and sinking funds due, but I'm already tracking that in other ways. So I'm going to go ahead and repurpose this one. So I will go ahead and put in the header over here and just place the April stylized letter over where it says bills due this month. And how I'm planning on using this one is similarly to what I do in my life planner, is to use this sort of like a recap of the month, a sort of like a reflections page on how things went. So that way I can share with you the following month what were some of the wins, and I can also go back and see how we did for the particular month. So like all of the stats that I shared earlier regarding March, I would keep on this page in the March section. So I'll have to go back and do that. So I think that's how I'll repurpose this one this time around.
I guess that things can only get better from here, but sometimes I wonder, I might have met the love of my life, but I lost a number.
So this page is pretty much all set as far as the decorative elements go. Actually, I might use these butterfly up here since I have a little bit more space for this section, since I've already moved the header over on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the goals. And this one, if you notice, I broke this word down, so it typically says online purchases. So here in this section, I'll plan on keeping any upcoming purchases that I'm planning on doing, but that are not necessarily online purchases. And then here are the online, so that I could keep track of like if it was shipped or if it was received, etc.
Never mind all the lines on the highway. I aim to misbehave, 'cause I'm just having a good day, having a good day, having a real good morning. I'm just having a good day, having a good day, having a real good morning. I'm just having a good time, having a bad day, yeah, a real good morning, a real good morning, a real good morning. I'm just having a good day, having a good day.
All right, so for this month, I have 3 main goals. One is to track transactions all of this month. I also need to open up an IRA account, and I also want to save. I saved about 24% of the income last month, so I want to increase that a little bit to 25%. Here in this area, I'm keeping just track of all of the anything that's happening this month that requires money. So for example, our car insurance is due, so I reference the sinking funds section here. This is another sticker sheet from my Etsy shop where I keep the monthly bills and then sinking funds here. So I have a couple of sinking funds that are due. So that includes taxes and car insurance. I also have a number of different appointments this month for doctors, and I would imagine that I think there's going to be some co-pays there. And then also EC is launching few different things, I think this month or between this month and next month. And one of them is like the EC teacher planner. So I definitely want to make sure that I budget for that. It's going to be a little bit challenging this month in terms of the budget because, or the physical actual money coming in, because my job is switching our pay cycle. So I am actually going to go most of the month of April without having a paycheck. I'm still going to budget as if I had a paycheck because I will get eventually the funds, but it's just not going to be actually physically coming in. So that's going to definitely be a challenging. The good thing is because I typically do budget a month ahead, all of the bills for April are pretty much already paid, if that makes sense, because I used the previous, the last pay period in March to take care of all of the bills in April. In this next section, this is where I break down the budget. So one thing that I will do differently this time around is that I actually just use a pencil and a ruler, and I just drew a line in the middle of the second column so that I can keep track of not only the amount that I budgeted for, but the actual amount spent. So I don't know how that's going to work this month. I decided to just try that and see how it goes. And I guess I'll keep you posted. But before we go ahead and enter some of this information here, I will use some of these scripts up at the top just to call out what month we are on. And there's a total of 5 here because there's enough room. Yep, for 5. Okay. And I will go ahead and place these headers to match the kit here.
Just having a good day, having a good day, having a real good morning, a real good morning.
So all of the headers are placed on this page. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next few pages. In these next few pages, I keep track of all of the sinking funds for the month that I need to transfer into. And then I also keep track of each bills, all of the bills pay per pay period. So again, it's going to be a little bit more challenging this month, but I'm still going to keep the same setup that I would have otherwise. So in this first section, this first 2 pages, I keep track of all of the sinking funds for one pay period, for another pay period. I don't have a ton of sinking funds, so I could actually even fit 4 pay periods in these 2 pages. So that offers a lot of extra room. And then in this section, I'll keep track. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just put in the header for the sinking fund since I'm here. And then this one will just say the sinking fund category, how much I'm adding to it. And then I use this other one to just break down how much, if I'm debiting anything from that particular sinking fund. I'm just going to go ahead and take a quick peek at March, just so that I remember. I don't have that many, but I'll go ahead and leave myself a little bit of room just because I will have to add one additional one, I think. Actually, maybe no, I don't think I have to add another one. And then the same thing with this side. And then the other header here. All right, this one's all set. And then I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next section. So this is where I list all of the bills for the first pay period in April. And here I will use this header, which basically changes this up so that I'm listing the bill or the category that I need to budget for. Then here on this side, I track the expenses. And then once I am done, and I can actually probably move this one. Yeah, I'll probably move it here towards the middle of the page. So I track all of the expenses. So every single day, I make sure to update if there were any expenses for that day. And then at the end of this cycle, I'll go ahead and indicate the total amount spent per category. So I'll say, okay, household, we spent X, or groceries, we spent X, etc. And then the same thing would be for the second section. And that's one of the things that I really love about this A5 budget book is just all this extra room to track transactions. Just makes it really, really helpful and more practical. So now that all of my headers are done, I will go ahead and fill in all of the categories here. so all of my categories are all filled in. I'll go ahead and add in the figures and just additional information afterwards. I also have my sinking funds all listed here for each of the pay periods, and then I have all of the bills that would be due with the first half of the month, and then the other bills that would be due with the second half of the month, or by pay period, however you want to call it. So that is it. That is my entire budget set up. I'm excited for another successful month. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below. And thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you next time.